Alright guys, I'm back at my house working on the shop today. The guy who previously had this shop buried the posts in the ground. So he would dig down as far as he could until he hit a rock. Then he would put the posts in the ground and then he just lopped off the tops to the right size. Since we're putting ours on a concrete foundation, we kind of need to have the tops at least close to the right size. I'm going to measure out all these posts, find the shortest one, and then we will cut the rest to it. At least we'll evaluate how short that's going to be. I think this is my shortest post here, so I'm going to take a quick measurement of it. All right, you can see this one is measuring at 12 foot 3.5 inches, or just shy of that. Pretty sure that's my shortest board. I'm going to go ahead and measure all of them and put 12 foot 3. I'm going to pick the good side that's going to go down, and then obviously we'll cut off the rougher of the two sides. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark everything. Tomorrow Lindsay's going to come out and give me a hand, so I'm at least going to get all of these marked. And tomorrow I'll bring my drill. Hopefully we can get some posts stood up. And I still haven't figured out my square yet. It made a little more sense when I was editing, but this is the one I told you is off by the most. And this is the corner that I told you was the most in. So I think it's going to be as simple as bringing this post out a little bit. And that's going to help my square a lot. But I at least like to get all my posts ready, because as soon as I do get that square, I can stand the post up, brace them off, and move on to the 2x12s. I've never built anything this big, and I'm gonna be honest, it's a little overwhelming right now for me. So I'm trying to process all of the steps of the project instead of just saying, what's the next step, focus on that. But I'm trying to think ahead so I don't get myself in a situation where I'm like, oh, I messed up on the last step and now, you know, yada yada. So I'm just over analyzing everything. I know what I need to do is get all these posts ready, figure out this square, and just start standing stuff up. Everything else will kind of come together after that, I think. Okay, I got everything marked out. I tried to cut out as much of the trash as I could off the boards that were either warped or had knots. Or before I go to cutting on these things though, I'm gonna call my friend Sean. He does a lot of construction, and I'm gonna ask him, make sure all my measurements are right, because I just want to make sure I don't have a problem with my door, my garage door. I want to have a 10-foot door. So if my posts are 12.3, and then I have a 2x12 on there that's 11.5, that makes it like 11.3.5. Surely that'll be enough header to be above my door. I don't know, I don't want to do something stupid, so I'm gonna call him real quick and see what he says. Okay, well, he didn't answer and I'll never forgive him, but let's call Gary from SLR and see what he thinks about it. I just want to make sure if I cut them all down to 12.3 that I'm gonna have enough room to put a 10-foot roll-up door.
Yeah, you should have plenty of headspace for a 10-foot door right there.
Okay, man, I just wanted to make sure before I started cutting these down and then had to buy a bunch of new posts.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you heard it from Gary. Looks like I'm gonna have enough room for the door, which is really good. I thought that measurement was right, but I just wanted to double check before I ended up costing myself a bunch of new posts. So I'm gonna try to transfer my line onto all 4 sides of the post, and if that works out, then maybe we'll cut some. Okay, this one was kind of difficult because there's a chunk missing, but I think even just with my little cardboard, I think I got a pretty good line. I thought I had my square here. It must be at Lynzies. I'm gonna keep going with this cardboard because I think it's working out pretty good, so keep rolling. Okay, now when I check the back, I just have to line up the two lines and it should be pretty good. Well, to be honest, that one didn't line up as good, but I think it's very close. I know this isn't really the right way to do it, but I think it's close enough to keep rolling, so I'm gonna keep going. That one went way better. That one looks really good. Okay, next. All right, here goes nothing. All right, so you can see my little error there. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna raise my blade a little bit, and maybe then at the bottom it won't gouge in so bad. I don't think that that's a real big deal since these are the top of the post and not the bottom, but surely I can cut it better than that. To avoid cutting the last post, I went ahead and went to the 12, 3 3/8. And that looks pretty good. Yeah! That time it was my mark, not the saw. So I still feel really good moving forward. Let's keep rolling. By far the best one. Still a little bit, but I bet it's almost impossible to not have any. Good one. A little bit. That one might have been my line too. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cutoffs, and the one post that we used as our starting point makes 10 posts. So we got them all cut. They're not too bad. I'm sure it's really hard to match the saw blade on both sides. I don't know, some of you guys that are woodworkers are probably ashamed of me right now, but all right, I'm gonna grab the broom and sweep these up and stack these up a little better. I feel really accomplished by this. I was a little worried when it started out, but it did get better. This one's not too great right here. But like I said, I cut the tops off, so really it doesn't matter. As long as we put our board evenly across the top, you'll never see that. I'm just letting y'all see it so you can judge me. We are done for today. I did get all the posts cut. Feels like a huge accomplishment. But before I leave, I'm gonna go ahead and stand up one post over here so you guys can have a little idea of how big the roof's gonna be.